most of the people on the group are very old and very experienced, and now realize how little we know and how much there is to learn. And I'm curious about you and saying, in your journey as a player, I'm not sure if you've actually coached yet, but you're now moving into casting. What are the things that you have learned about what you do that you have applied, where maybe you weren't as expertise, didn't have the expertise to deal with as well before?
Well, great question, Wally. This is my 25th year of running my hockey school this summer. So, no, I've never had a team from the beginning of a season to the end of the season. I have only coached in this way, in a teaching way, which I've figured out I loved. I did what was HP 1, I guess now. So level 4 back in the day for coaching. And realized that being behind a bench didn't bring me the same passion that it did playing. You know, I didn't care as much whether we won. I didn't have that sort of fierceness, but that I really loved administrating, and I loved building team, and I loved everything to do with all of that aspect. So I have continued my career in that direction, but what have I learned that I have, you know, I wish I paid attention to the board more, to be honest. As a goalie, I think I always took those moments to breathe, to focus on what I just, to sort of recap what happened on the last drill for me. I was really good at parking negative things, so bad plays or bad goals, and then at the board would focus on that for me and go through it. And I'd be very much in my own head, even though for those coaches that were coaching me, I was nodding and looking like I was paying attention. I was rarely paying attention. And now that I am broadcasting and learning more about coaching from you guys, you know, I wish I would have paid more attention in terms of the IQ of the game. So really learning the nuances of the game. So many things, I think I've said this to you, Wally, that now I see a man on box behind and instantly think of Wally. I don't think once in a game did I ever think, you know, when it was in the far end, oh, we're playing a man on box behind. So those kind of things. I think I wish I would have been more inclusive as a younger player. I just always thought that the other girls, my peers, never wanted to play hockey. I didn't realize, or maybe even have the wherewithal as a young athlete to know that they didn't have the opportunity to play. They maybe didn't have parents that were protective and allowed them to, you know, they took all the brunt and allowed them to play this game, or coaches that allowed a girl on their team, or communities that allowed girls on their team. I just assumed they didn't want to play this game. I didn't know they had to follow their brothers around and do all of that until I probably got into my teenage years. So I wish I would have been more inclusive at the time of, I would say as a young athlete, I was more chauvinistic than, so I had to learn that the hard way. When I first joined the Olympic team was the first time I really saw girls play. And up until that point, I just always assumed I was the only one and that here I was doing something different, and that really was not the case. So I think since that learning, I have tried to build my career around that, to be inclusive and to ensure that athletes of all levels get opportunities, but also people from all over this country get opportunities as well. That just because they aren't playing doesn't mean they don't want to play. And that hockey doesn't have to be the end all. That I think from you guys, I have learned, and I say you guys in a very open way, all the coaches that I've had over the years, that hockey is simply a conduit for learning and for being fit and active and having a healthy lifestyle. So however that can be accomplished, it doesn't have to be through hockey. So yeah, I think those are some really important things that I was, you know, I don't remember much about the X's and O's that coaches taught me along the way, but I do really vividly know that I transformed in that way to have that understanding. Because as a young athlete, hockey was, I mean, I played a ton of different sports, but sport was everything. It was whether we won the game or not really affected me. And I think I've changed a lot of that in the way I coach slash administrate slash build, I guess. So once again, Tim, I went on and on and on for what could have been a 30-second answer, but.
Yeah, no problem.
Very good.
Tom's got his hand up, but I'll say this, you're probably like 85-90% of the players, Sammy, in not remembering or paying attention to what's going on at the board. That's far too common. Go ahead, Tom.